Hello everyone. I just wanted to start out by showing the setup that I've got here that I've been working with and running experiments on. So right now I am running 30 volts, about 40 milliamps, if that thing's accurate. I don't know, it kind of seems like it's off. I feel like I'm pulling more amps than that, but I know it looks like I have two, but this is actually, well, there's two PNP transistors here, but I'm only running the one. Was trying to run these in parallel, but with the PNPs it seems like it doesn't really want to work like it does with the NPNs in parallel. It's getting kind of warm. I don't think I can consistently run this at 30 volts, but that's just a heating problem I have, apparently. But as you can see, here's the base of the second transistor. It just kind of goes to nothing. So I'm just running this one transistor right here. So we've got the negative going out. That goes to one part of my primary. This happens to be the top part of the primary. So that runs there, and then there's another wire here that goes to my resistor, my potentiometer, so I can adjust the resistance, and then jumps over to the base, but then also the secondary, the start of the secondary. Which this Tesla coil I was experimenting with. It kind of sucks, but I was trying it out. This is actually a three wire. I was trying to see if I could do like a trifilar or a bifilar, but it didn't quite work out. So I ended up just twisting the wires and running them all as one cable. Kind of works, but this small little guy actually works out better. So I kind of just switch off between the two. And then nice little bomber cup that just gives me a little lift with the one wire dangling down. So I've got that set up on both of these Tesla coils. And then we've got the collector that's this second part of the primary goes to, which is the bottom part on my setup. I think it depends on how you have the wrappings. If you've got them wrapped in the same direction for the secondary and the primary, if you got them wrapped in the same direction versus counterclockwise, then that's what matters for how you connect it, I think. That's what I've seemed to find out. But anyways, that goes to the collector, and then the emitter just goes to the negative bus, but since this is a PNP, it's the positive portion. So that is the Slayer exciter setup. Then I have the wire dangling down the center. That then attaches to my breadboard, which makes my breadboard the load of the Tesla coil, which I kind of found some interesting things with that, because you could have connections way over here out in La La Land, and then it still is picking up voltage, like these LEDs would light up, but that's all torn away right now. What I've been trying to do is try to get one of these fans to run. So this is the big PC fan. I've also got a small one, a small Cana kit, 5 volt, 120 milliamp. And the big guy is a 12 volt, 330 milliamp. Haven't been able to get him to run. Have got this guy to run for a little bit. How this is working right now is, so here's the Tesla coil wire going into the breadboard. Here is 2 capacitors, and then 2 capacitors over here. These are electrolytic, so we have positive running that way and a negative line running that way, and then we have a rectifier, a diode rectifier, full bridge rectifier. So we've got the positive line running out, doing the positive rail, and then the negative line running out to the negative rail, and then just a capacitor bank. So that has been working. When I plug this in, you know, blue to the negative, red to the red, it'll power this for just a little bit. Right now, actually, with this Tesla coil, this won't run for some reason. I can get it to run with that guy, which I also can't get this Tesla coil to spark out. I can get that one to spark out at 40 volts, and I have to tap the end of the secondary with the light bulb, and then it is enough to, it sparks, and then it's enough to stay in breakout. So that's sort of been the first thing I've been working on. The second thing, that sort of the main thing, what I'm really trying to do though, is over here is just my pulse mechanism. So PWM module, just a battery going to it, powering it. So I take this, you know, it's already hooked up, can turn it on, and then runs to the NPN transistor, which it's all disconnected right now, but I use that to try and pulse this setup. So this is actually just the bottom of the Tesla coil. Kind of just made that coincidentally a perfect radius to fit that in there. But I've actually got 2 rodent coils, and then this is just sort of my test setup that I'm just trying to play with and see what happens. Aluminum plate with a hole cut out to fit in there, and I also have just a little bismuth, I'll just call it a coin, a little tiny piece of bismuth in there, just to see what will happen. I'm covering that up with some more aluminum, but that's just the bottom of a pop can. What I am trying to do is pulse the rodent coils and have them oscillate to each other. You know, so this one's on, this one's off. Once this one shuts off, you know, sends the back EMF to this guy, turning him on, and then, you know, and oscillating like that in one of either or direction. And I've been struggling to get that to work. One thing, maybe I just don't have enough voltage going across my Slayer exciter circuit, since it doesn't really seem to be too powerful. Let's see, we're not too hot yet, but right now, you know, my static field is very weak. There we go. And yeah, it dies out pretty fast. But that also could be because I have, let's see, 5 1000 microfarad capacitors taking some of the charge too. So that could also be why it's weak right now in this instance. But I've been kind of trying to use this board to do the oscillation. I've been trying these capacitors somehow, you know, just trying a bunch of different things. I don't claim to be good at electronics yet, so this is a good learning project, if anything. Right now I'm on vinyl flooring, which has a rubber padding underneath it, so I'm not really grounded. But what I'm doing is grounding the breadboard to my middle plate, if that's grounding. But anyways, so I guess the load is going from the breadboard and ending in the middle plate here. I've tried maybe just using like this bolt here for another ground for, I don't know technically where am I supposed to ground the secondary, the bottom of the secondary there, or one of the primaries. But I know, Nathan, you mentioned something about having the 2 grounds, but this is just what I've got so far. And my rodent coils look pretty crazy just because I used, in this one, my Mark 1, 9 individual strands to make sort of one ribbon cable. And then, you know, I'm just what you guys have been doing with the 24. It's just this cable isn't twisted, and so they're just all connected in series to make one long cable. The bottom one down here though is two separate cables, except wrapped in the same way. It's just one cable goes one direction, the other cable makes the other cross threading there. But it's 24 individual strands for each cable. So a bit bigger, which does take more energy to fill up and charge, which I'm thinking is part of the problem. But yeah, just a bunch of connections, and then, you know, all the connections there and to make it all one in series cable. Let's see, anything else? It's pretty much all I've got going on so far. Yeah, I'm just having some fun with some Tesla coils. I think maybe the next step is maybe I might try to make another small guy like that with the 32 gauge wire, but taller, and I think maybe the same diameter, and just make it taller was maybe another step I was thinking about trying out. And because that guy probably has some pretty high frequency to it. I don't know, I don't have an oscilloscope, so I would imagine this guy has got a lower frequency, but because I did the 3-wire thing, I kind of just messed it up. But yeah, I just wanted to make a nice little video. First video of my Tesla coil experimentation logs, we'll call it, or something like that. But yeah, thanks for your time, guys.